Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of history's absolute most fascinating and, honestly, most misunderstood figures. When you hear the name Cleopatra, your mind probably jumps straight to, a tragic romantic or some figure of myth in Hollywood drama. But we are going to strip all of that away today. Instead, we're looking at the cold, hard facts to reveal a brilliant, ruthless strategist who was fighting with absolutely everything she had for her kingdom's survival against a rapidly expanding Rome.
It's a staggering question, isn't it? Just think about the massive stakes at play here. During this period, Rome was unequivocally the most powerful empire on the planet, and they were aggressively expanding their control over practically every single kingdom around the entire Mediterranean. It was like a steamroller. Yet standing directly in the way of complete Roman domination was a teenager. How on earth did an 18-year-old maneuver through this kind of terrifying geopolitical minefield?
Section 1. The Teenage Queen, a Kingdom on the Brink. So, Cleopatra didn't exactly inherit a stable, peaceful realm. She stepped into a total pressure cooker right from the jump, facing immediate betrayal. She became Queen of Egypt at just 18 years old. Keep that number in mind as we go through this explainer. At an age where most of us are literally just trying to figure out our basic path in life, she was handed the keys to a kingdom squarely in Rome's crosshairs. And, as if the external threat of a hungry Roman Empire wasn't enough, things got incredibly dire when her own brother tried to remove her from power entirely. Her back was completely against the wall.
Okay, let's dive into exactly how she fought back. Pop culture has made Cleopatra famous almost exclusively for her beauty, but her actual weapons were entirely different. Cleopatra was fiercely intelligent. She spoke several languages fluently, which is a massive deal, because it meant she could negotiate with foreign leaders face-to-face without relying on interpreters who might, have their own hidden agendas. But most importantly, she understood politics better than practically any other ruler of her time. Those were the real tools she used to stay alive.
Section 2. A Daring Alliance, Winning Caesar's Support.
Now, what's really interesting here is her sheer audacity. To survive her brother's violent usurpation and actually reclaim her country, Cleopatra recognized immediately that she needed a phenomenally powerful ally. Her tactical plan to reach him? Absolutely legendary. She had to get to the Roman general Julius Caesar, but her brother's forces heavily controlled the area. So, according to legend, she executed a massive gamble. Step 1, she evades her brother's hostile forces. Step 2, she literally has herself rolled up inside a carpet and smuggled directly into Julius Caesar's private chambers, completely undetected by her enemies. And Step 3, once face-to-face with the most powerful man in the world, she successfully negotiates a Roman alliance.
So, why exactly did Caesar agree to support her throne? It wasn't just her charm. That brilliant carpet stunt proved to Caesar that Cleopatra was a sharp, fearless, strategic partner. She was someone he could do business with. But beyond her intellect, we really have to look at the economics. Caesar desperately needed access to Egypt's immense wealth and its massive grain supply to fund his own military campaigns. Egypt was essentially the breadbasket of the ancient world. Because she offered incredible strategic and economic value, Caesar threw his weight behind her. She wasn't just some desperate, exiled queen. She was a political mastermind who could bypass armies and deliver herself right to his door, with a deal he couldn't refuse. With Caesar's backing, she got her throne back and solidified her position as a powerhouse of the ancient world.
Section 3. The Antony Pivot, Adapting to Chaos.
Let's move along and see how this builds, because in the ancient world, stability rarely lasts long. The ultimate crisis hits when Julius Caesar is suddenly assassinated in Rome. Boom! Her primary protector and ally is gone in an instant. But notice how incredibly fast she adapts. In the years following the assassination, she navigates the incredibly messy Roman Civil War and forms a brand new alliance with the Roman general Mark Antony. Now, while this partnership definitely evolved into a legendary love story, make no mistake, at its core it was a strictly necessary political alliance for survival. However, as we get into her final years, this exact partnership is what puts her directly at odds with Rome's next rising power, Octavian.
Section 4. Defeat and Defiance, the Battle of Actium.
The tension with Octavian finally boils over into a full-scale war. And tragically, the combined forces of Cleopatra and Mark Antony were ultimately defeated at the catastrophic Battle of Actium. Octavian was victorious, and Cleopatra knew exactly what that meant for her. Facing imminent capture, she knew she would be subjected to severe public humiliation in Rome. She'd be paraded as a defeated prisoner through the Roman streets just to glorify Octavian's big triumph. So she made a final, incredibly defiant choice. She chose to end her own life on her own terms, rather than ever allow herself to be reduced to a trophy of the Roman Empire.
Section 5. The Strategist's Legacy, 2,000 Years of Legend.
Cleopatra's death was a monumental turning point in history. It officially marked the end of ancient Egypt as an independent kingdom. Rome had finally consumed it. But this brilliantly illustrates how we should actually view her place in history. Her legend has lasted for over 2,000 years, but it shouldn't just be a legend of romance or a tragic Shakespearean play. She was a brilliant strategist who used diplomacy, language, and carefully calculated alliances to survive, adapt, and maintain her power for as long as humanly possible in a terrifying world dominated by expanding empires.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final thought. Knowing what you know now about the intellect, the daring carpet maneuvers, the economic leverage she used on Caesar, and the ruthless geopolitical navigation required to keep a kingdom alive against Rome, will you remember her merely for the romance or for the brilliant strategy? It really makes you rethink how history chooses to remember powerful women, doesn't it? Thank you so much for exploring this with me.